All right, Carla, you ready to go?
I'm ready.
Let's go! Can't wait for this show. Been looking forward to this show for a long time.
Today's a good show.
Let's go!
We got a really good topic today.
Really good topic today. Let's get right into it. Here we go. All right. Hello and welcome back, everyone, for another 5K tennis discussion. We are still very early into the ATP and WTA seasons, and we are already on show number 27.
27?
27.
27.
27. Let's go!
That's good, that's good.
All right, so we decided, Carla and me decided to do our 27th show today or tonight instead of tomorrow, mañana.
Very good.
Yeah, get better. Because our two oldest boys who play on their high school tennis team have a makeup tennis tournament tomorrow.
Yes.
So we decided to do the show that we had written for tomorrow morning tonight. By the way, both of our oldest boys, we have 5 children, 3 boys, 2 girls, but both of our oldest boys played their first matches or high school tennis tournaments last night, and both of our boys won their matches and they won their doubles match playing together.
Good job, boys.
Let's go! That's what I'm talking about. Maybe we can make a change to U.S. tennis after all.
Well, and they also have a chance. It did rain on them, so the other 2 boys could not finish their matches, but if they win, then they'll have their first win of the season.
Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Let's go. All right, so as usual, Carla and I will place a link above so you can catch up from our previous show, which we did yesterday. Again, these shows are always a direct continuation from the previous show. So if you are new to this channel or to our group, or as this family group as we like to call it, and you want to catch up on all the comments, all the topics, and all the discussions, you can pause it here, click the link above, catch up with everything, or you can just start right here, right now, and move forward into the future. All right, let's go. All right, so by the way, please subscribe to our channel. When you do so, you automatically qualify for our prize giveaways that Carla and myself do for all the more major tournaments. We did a prize giveaway for the Australian Open. No one took home the tennis racket, but here in the not-too-distant future, beginning with Indian Wells and with the Miami Open, we're going to make it much more simple for you all to go home with prizes. So please subscribe, and as long as you're subscribed, you will qualify for our prize giveaways. So we will be doing a tennis racket giveaway for Indian Wells and the Miami Open, as well as a second place prize with this year's Miami Open and Indian Wells with some YTEX strings. So please subscribe, and as long as you are subscribed, then you will qualify for the games that we play that will enable you to win either the tennis racket or some YTEX gear. All right? So definitely subscribe, and hey, the future's yours in terms of the tennis racket giveaways and the YTEX strings giveaways. All right. As always, when we start a show, we like to give some new group member shout-outs, right?
And I must say, more Djokovic fans.
Yeah.
I was really wrong when we started this show. I always said Nadal and Federer have more fans. No, this has proven me wrong.
Has that proven you wrong?
Completely.
So before we get started into our big topic of today, we want to welcome some new members to this channel or this group, or what Carla and myself like to call a tennis family. You ready to go? All right, so we're going to introduce some new members, and here we go. Number 1, Carteri04. Welcome, Carteri04 from San Diego. By the way, I'm a California native. I was born in San Francisco, grew up in Encinitas, and used to train at the San Diego Tennis and Racket Club in Carlsbad, California, and myself and my sister had the luxury of training with the Chang family, including Michael Chang there as young children. So welcome, Carteri04. Glad to have you.
He had some really good comments. He kept coming back at me, with more facts and more facts and
Loved
more
his
facts.
stuff. Loved it.
But I'm an Adele fan, so.
Loved your stuff. Number 2, Larry Wang. By the way, Larry Wang, where are you from? We always like to know where all of you are from because, again, tennis makes the world in which we live very small, right?
Yes, definitely.
I've had people come up to me in airports saying, I can tell you play tennis, even though I had on regular shorts and a t-shirt because of the way you walk or the way you carry yourself. Tennis is a very small world. We always like to know where you're from so we can always pay tribute to where you are and how much you respect the game of tennis. It's family. Where are you from, Larry Wang? Where are you from? Number 3, Baki, B-A-K-I-M-C, from Serbia. Let's go! We got a
Funny comment there.
We have another
Djokovic fan.
another Djokovic fan.
And I think Larry was a Djokovic fan as well. So
Let's go!
we had 3 new Djokovic fans, and Rajesh would be very happy about that.
There you go, Rajesh. And don't forget about Rajesh Jr. All right, that's Rajesh Jr., by the way. Rajesh in Houston, much love to you, Rajesh. You're always a big part of all that we do. Much love. All right, so don't forget, if you're new here and you subscribe or if you comment, let us know where you are from so we can make sure to give you the utmost respect. All right, Carla, let's jump right into show number 27. Ready?
I'm ready.
Let's go! Man, I can't wait for this one. All right, this topic, and this will basically hold down the entire show, comes from a nice gentleman that Carla and myself, thanks, Dad, on that one, have had the pleasure to meet and the pleasure to talk tennis with. And this topic, by the way, is an important topic.
It is. And I think a lot of viewers have asked us to talk about this before. Including my father. He wanted to hear this one, so.
And we have spoken about this topic before and not quite hit it as hard as we're going to hit it today. All right? So this topic comes in from a gentleman that runs a company called Big Hit Sports International. We spoke about what was happening in Australian men's tennis on yesterday's show. As soon as we completed yesterday's show, we had a really wonderful question that basically stated this. What then is going on with men's tennis in the United States? Have the powers that be at the USTA, respectively, lowered the expectations for professional men's tennis? Now, Carla, I think it's best that we read his entire comment.
Yes.
Don't you?
I think so.
So let's read his entire comment.
And by the way, he's a tennis coach, and he's coached in the USA, lives in the USA, has traveled overseas, and coached there as well. So he's seen tennis everywhere. Well, he asked, have the powers that be at the USTA lower the expectations for professional U.S. men's tennis? We keep hearing that the new crop is coming. Okay, let's look at the facts. Andre Agassi was ranked number 3 in the world at age 18. Jim Courier at age 22. Sampras at age 22, and he won the U.S. Open at age 19. The only young U.S. player currently ranked in the top 30 is Francis Tiafoe at number 30.
Yeah, he's at number 30.
Taylor Fritz is ranked number 40. After Fritz, it really drops off. This looks even worse when we are reminded that a young German, Sasha Severbeck, age 21, is currently ranked number 3, and Greek Stefanos Tsitsipas is currently ranked number 12 at age 20. Can anyone remember the last time an American male was ranked number 1 in the world? Thoughts?
All right. So, first of all, his comment is absolutely spectacular.
It is.
It's not only a good comment, but it absolutely makes the mind start churning. One of the reasons why we decided to do this show today instead of tomorrow, trying to crunch it into one day, right?
Right.
So what Carla and I postulated was, let's take a look at the top 20 men in the world as we speak today that are in the top 20 from the United States of America.
Right.
Carla has taken her time to give us the list of those in the top 20 and even furthering that list to those that are ranked even up until the top 50.
Well, I even did a little bit more and looked at who's the younger generations in the top 100.
Okay.
Which wasn't much.
Didn't expect that.
Which wasn't much.
So let's go ahead and listen to those in the top 20 and beyond currently, and let's reference those or have a secondary variable from this day, year in 1991.
Yes.
Who was just in the top 20.
Right.
All right. So who do we have in the top 20 and beyond, or who do we have in the top 20 and beyond, counting the day that we stand in right now?
Well, currently, we only have one USA male player in the top 20.
Let me guess, John Isner.
Number 9, John Isner. That is his highest ranking. He is age 33, which means that the end of his career is coming. He holds only 14 titles, not one slam. That's it.
Okay.
That's our top 20. Do you want to keep going further?
Yeah, because we're just in the top 20, let's go ahead and further that with those that are outside the top 20.
Well, we, as Big Hits at Sports International mentioned, at number 30, Francis Tiafoe at age 21. He only has won one title, and that was at 2018 Delray Beach, where he beat Peter Gajowczyk, I'm not sure with the name, and he's from Germany. So Delray Beach is a smaller tournament.
Now, I do think that Tiafoe made a quarterfinal at the Australian Open.
He did, so he's starting to break through, but
fair enough.
Can he be consistent is the question.
It's a great question.
You know? Number 34 sees Steve Johnson, who's 29 years old, who has 4 titles.
College player.
2018, he won 2, Newport and Houston. In 2017, he won Houston again. In 2016, Nottingham.
Now,
So
granted, we're outside the top 20 now.
And he is 29 years old. His highest ranking was number 30 at 2018 in September. So he was a college player, and really, these are smaller tournaments he's won.
Now, Steve Johnson, we enjoy as a player.
Oh, he's fun to watch, definitely.
But I don't know how to say this politically correct, but if Steve Johnson was someone you had to bet on...
Well, he lost first round at the Australian Open this year.
Yeah, but all I'm saying is if Steve Johnson, respectively, was someone that you had to bet on to make it to the final leg at any major, would you take him?
Definitely not.
Definitely not. All respect to Steve Johnson.
But he's a fun player to watch.
Fun player to watch, and we love you a lot.
He took a good path by going through the college, so nothing wrong with that.
Great job for doing the college route, and believe me, much respect to you.
And didn't he even coach college too? I thought he coached.
I think so.
So, I mean, he's had a great career.
Okay, who else we got in the top?
Number 40, which, he mentioned, Taylor Fritz, who's 21 years old with no titles.
Now, this may be...
Didn't he beat one of the Australian players? At this Australian, he had a good showing at this Australian Open.
Yeah,
he had a decent showing. I think 4th round, then he lost to Federer.
Now I think Taylor Fritz too, and this is an excuse, but I think Taylor Fritz is a young father.
He is a young father, but his mother was also a pro.
Great job
in the
here.
70s.
Great job here.
I think he's from California.
So again, we're not trying to discredit U.S. tennis. We're trying to figure out what's wrong with tennis in the United States. Again, we just spoke about Australian tennis last show. We're not trying to discredit anyone. We are passionate about the game, and Carla and I grew up in this game in the United States, and we're trying to figure out what has happened to it. So great job, Fritz, for your endeavors.
Well, maybe he'll have a good career. He's still 21, so we'll see.
Still young.
48, Sam Querrey, who's 31 years old and has had 10 titles. His highest ranking was in 2018 at number 12. We also know Sam Querrey came through the USTA, was a top junior with Donald Young.
And again,
and he's made a few quarterfinals, Wimbledon, U.S. Open.
Yeah, and again, this isn't about discrediting any U.S. player at all. This is about where the future of U.S. tennis lies. Is it fading?
He's 31, so his career's coming to an end soon.
Is it gaining traction? Again, I respect Sam Querrey and much love to Sam Querrey and his future. But again, we are trying to understand what is wrong with U.S. tennis and the trajectory thereof.
Well, then I decided to go below the top, the 50. Well, at 91, you have Mackenzie McDonald, who's 23 years old. And then you have 98, Riley Opelka, who's 21 years old, who just beat Isner.
Well, I think Opelka, by the way, won a junior Wimbledon, I think, at some point. But look, let's hold it off there.
So he's 21. So these guys, maybe they'll do something.
So again, the variables were the top 20.
And that's it, by the way, for the younger generation. There were a few veterans in there, but
Yeah.
I'm talking about the young guys.
So the variables that we had postulated for this show were the top 20 right now, and Carla went above and beyond to the top 100 between right now, this day and age, and year end of 1991. Now, we gave props to those on the outside looking in from the current day. Now let's talk about those American tennis players that were within the top 20 year end 1991. Let's go.
Number 2, Jim Courier at the age of 21. Number 6, Pete Sampras at the age of 20. Number 10, Andre Agassi at the age of 21. Number 13, Derek Rostagno at the age of 26. Number 15, Michael Chang at the age of 19.
Won a French Open serving underhand against Lendl. Let's go!
Number 17, David Wheaton at 22 years old.
Let's go. Great doubles player,
And a
too.
veteran, number 19. We all know him as a commentator, Brad Gilbert at
Let's
the age
go!
of 30.
Now, we're in the top 20 right there. We're in the top 20. Now,
And there were more. But
So-
we left it at the top 20.
so we just stopped there at the top 20. I want to open the discussion floor up right now.
That's 7 players in the top 20 where we only have one.
So I want to open the discussion floor
Oh,
up.
and one that's a veteran.
I want to open this discussion floor up right now for anyone out there that can come up with even more players outside the top 20 to 100 that Carla did. She had on 2 hands from number 1 to 100. Less than 2 hands. You had very few. She came up with...
Let's see, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 players in the top 100. Well, there were a few
And
more.
the top 100.
But I mean, as far as, like he said, the younger generation, we only have 1, 2, 3, 4.
All right,
4 in the top 100.
and how many did you have in 1991 year in, just within the top 20?
That were young guys, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
All right.
And there's 7 total, but 6 that were, considered young.
So prior to today, she had about the same number, right, in the top 100. But in 1991, we had the same number within just the top 20. I open the comment floor up for anyone that can fill in the gaps between the top 20 and top 100 at the year end 1991. All right? That was example number 1. Number 1. Example number 2. By the way, great notes there, Carla.
Thank you.
Great research. She did a really good job there. Example number 2. Is the current state of the United States tennis the product of the me, the I, the myself generation? I'll explain. Social media, selfies, how I look in bikini shoots.
Well, the guys can't say how I look in bikini shoots.
Well, the girls do it.
But the guys can't do that. The guys, you don't really see them doing that much.
Also, too, in the United States today, we have a huge reliance on team sports. And there's no problem with team sports. I'm a huge football fan. I'm a huge basketball fan. I'm a huge baseball fan. However, looking at baseball, is the United States baseball products anywhere in the ballpark of competing with those from, say, the Dominican Republic or Puerto Rico?
No.
And a lot of other countries?
No.
No, we're not. Football, basketball, again, great sports, love them, watch them.
Well,
Love them.
here's another problem, Justin. There are less tennis courts than there used to be back in our time.
Yeah, when Carl and I
Tennis
grew up,
courts are disappearing.
there was tennis courts everywhere. Now when we
Pickle court is what they're getting rid of the tennis courts and they're making them into pickle. I've seen this happen in many clubs.
not even necessarily pickle courts. Carla and I go out on hunting missions, per se, to find tennis courts that are on Google Maps or where they have been located before. We go out and find no fences, no posts, parking lots or woods, cracked up courts, no nets, no fence posts, whatever.
Even in nice communities with beautiful houses, their courts are a disaster.
Tennis courts, no lights don't work. The lights
They don't care.
There's nothing there. It's a ghost town. Number one. For myself, I'm passionate about saying in the United States, the individual sports are fading. Now again, I love football, I love baseball, I love basketball, I love soccer, I love all sports. But it's so easy for us to say, well, I'm the quarterback of the team and I missed all my passes, but yet my defense should have done something better. Or I'm in baseball and I didn't hit very well, but my infield should have done a better job at having less runs scored.
Well, do you think people are scared, or maybe they're scared to take responsibility for losing a match?
Maybe
Because when you're 1 against 1, you're a gladiator against a gladiator. There's nobody helping you there.
Maybe it's easier to blame others and the culture in which we live in. Maybe I'm wrong. Tear me apart. Tell me I'm wrong. But maybe it's a little bit easier to pass the blame on others these days than it is to just take full responsibility for your own offensive defense that we do in the game of tennis. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. Comment below. Are we right or are we wrong?
Well, I think also back in the days, there's a lot of variables. Back in the days, tennis lessons were easier to find. Now it's because there's no courts, it's harder to find tennis coaches unless you go to an academy, to a country club. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
More of a club, because now public courts are not as available as they used to be. Example, big cities like New York, Chicago, they're just not available. So, they're having to go into country clubs and other clubs and maybe having to pay membership so they don't really get involved in the game of tennis.
All right, example number 3, building huge pyramids. And I'm going to explain this. Arthur Ashe Stadium that we have at the Billie Jean King or the USTA grounds in Queens, New York is absolutely beautiful. Okay, it's absolutely beautiful.
I'm from Queens, so.
I've been there. I went to the US Open in 2007 and 2008 before the roof was erected and watched some lovely matches there. Is the $1 billion stadium really beautiful? Yes. But would it be more beneficial to American tennis to put that money into player development, or does it really matter in the first place? Is it the money that we need to put in, or is the product that is coming through it is just really not ready to work hard enough?
Well, in 2017, the USTA did a player development. They built Lake Nona with over 100 courts. So maybe we'll see some American tennis come out of there?
I hope so. I really do hope so.
I heard it's a beautiful facility.
I haven't seen it personally, not in person. I've seen pictures, and it's gorgeous.
And I lived in Orlando. When I lived there, there was not much tennis. So
at the same point in time, we can build whatever we wish, and people can ooh and ah over the facility. But if we don't have hardworking kids or students or players that come through there, what good is the facility?
Well, I think that also this generation doesn't want to work as hard, Justin. They're not driven to work hard.
Better yet, what are our priorities as young tennis students coming through the player development that we have in the United States now? What are our priorities? Is it selfies? Is it views on our social media pages? Or is it how hard we can dig deep and train to play this game that we are supposed to be passionate about? What are our priorities? What are we doing? Right? What are our priorities? Example number 4. Should we be taking lessons from other countries on how they teach and dig deep into the game of tennis these days? I'll name some examples. Serbia, Croatia, Spain, Russia, Germany, and the list goes on. They are cranking out players left and right. How?
Well, and if you see their facilities, I've seen a lot of videos. It's not a big thing.
It's really simple. How many Serbians have played tennis in bombed-out swimming pools?
I think 3 that we know.
Djokovic, Ivanovic, Jankovic. There's 3 right there. I'm sure there's more.
I'm sure there's many stories.
Do they have magic wands? Are they stroking magic wands at the tennis ball?
I just think they have the desire, dedication, and they want to become champions.
So it's not Harry Potter on the tennis ball. It's just something. It's something more like digging deep.
I think there's less distractions also.
Do they have huge arenas? I understand they may have indoor courts that seat 2,000 or 1,500 or whatever it may be, but do they have $1 billion stadiums that seat 50,000? I don't think so.
I don't know.
They might. Okay, with that said though, why is it that in these $1 billion stadiums that we build here is the last U.S. man to have won within that stadium, without even a roof or out even the addition, being Andy Roddick in 2003 who beat Juan Carlos Ferrero in straight sets.
Yeah, and he was the last #1 U.S. player also. The last American man ranked #1 in 2003.
Is it that these countries, in respect to Serbia, Croatia, Spain, Russia, Germany, and so many more, is it not that they are just breaking down the game to the basic fundamentals and strategies that are needed to play this game at a high level? And not that they're building these huge facilities and these huge courts simply to say that we have the money to do so?
Well, I don't understand all of that, Justin, because we do have a lot of foreign coaches who are here in the United States, and I'm sure they teach the same thing. So
I don't know. I don't find it a coaching issue here. I don't. I think there's a lot of really top-notch coaches here in the United States, and we are two of them.
Well, maybe the kids that are getting involved are not, because a lot of the kids, well, we're going to get into the college thing. That's the next thing.
Yeah, we'll get into the college coaching aspect of it too, but lest we not forget, Carla and I both coach here in the U.S., and we dig deep. We really push hard. But I do think that what products we see coming through, male, female, it doesn't matter. I find that the fight is not the fight that we used to see before.
Well, from experience, when I teach most of the kids, maybe after one lesson they lose interest, because they find it difficult.
Tennis is highly difficult. By the way, Carla and I both grew up here into tennis families in the United States, and we were driven to play. We didn't have an excuse not to play.
That's
and
right.
If we didn't play hard, then there was a whole bunch to pay.
We spent hours and hours. I would remember as a kid getting up at 6, coming back home, taking a nap, going back out till nighttime.
And looking back on it, I wish I would have worked harder. Harder. Now, who in the recent past, Carla, and I have to be kind of less animated here, but it's been a long time since you or myself have seen a true fighter that wants to come out and dig deep and then take what they learned on the court to go home and work on it at home. There's some.
Very few.
But it's really tough to find. I wish that you and I had a second chance to go back in time, don't you?
Well, many of us do.
Real quick as we end this show. Carla and I have a few very close friends, we won't mention names, that are Division I college coaches. All of their teams are filled with international players on scholarship, okay? It is not their fault that they're giving scholarships to these players.
No.
It's because those that apply for the scholarships in the U.S. are being destroyed by these players.
That's right. Most of the scholarships are given, Division I are given out to the international players because they're just simply better. The Division III is the ones that are getting the Americans. Community college are getting the Americans. What is that saying? And they don't want to fight? They don't want to, try to get the best?
Not mentioning any names, but we speak, Carla and myself, speak to 3 Division I coaches on nearly a day-to-day basis because we have 2 older boys that are wanting to head in that direction within the next 1.5 years for one and 3 years for the other, and 3 more kids behind. So we try to stay close with these respective coaches.
Well, yeah, and I know quite a few coaches in Divisions 2 and 3. So, and they tell me the ones that are teaching Division 3, they say these guys don't even want to work. They don't want to work.
All of these coaches basically tell Carla and I, who go to battle for U.S. tennis players, often, why is it that your teams are full with international students with scholarships? You know what their almost verbatim quote is across the board? The U.S. players don't want to come out and work hard. I'm not ad-libbing this. I'm quoting this. Again, I don't mean to be passionate about it or throw anyone under the bus, but this is fact of the matter truth.
Right.
Fact of the matter. We bleed it. We teach it. We have 5 children that all play. We keep in touch with these coaches for a matter of hoping our children can get into these programs. And all of them always say, I hope they're ready to battle the international hungry players. Period. And we respect them. All right. So how do we fix this? I'm not going to ad-lib on this. Let's start the comments below on how do we fix this problem. All right? There's nothing wrong with anyone getting scholarships or anywhere on this globe.
No, if you work hard, you earned it.
No matter where you are, no matter who you are, what you look like, what country you come from. If you can play the game better than someone else, then you deserve it. And that's a fact.
Right.
And that's how we get done. All right. Health tip of the day as we end this show, cooler heads prevail. I know we have been active in this show and passionate about this show. But believe me, when it comes down to the thick of things, we understand that cooler heads prevail. Even in our passion for tennis, when it comes down to getting into the thick of things on our show or battling it out with people, we always try to keep it cool, which is why we always try to recommend to keep the comments cordial, because we like to stay professional and keep this a professional family and a family in which we can grow upon. Stay cool, keep the head calm, and stay steady, and the pebble bucket will fill up.
Definitely.
All right? That's it, everyone. Click a like below. Please click a like below. Please subscribe to our channel. There is a way you can hit the down arrow on the description field, and you can expand that if you wish to contribute to Carla and I's show, and you can help us with prize giveaways and to make us be able to do this on a more daily basis. Thanks so much to all of you. Without you all, there is no show. All the new members, all the new people, YTEX Streams, Ivor Savage, we love you a lot.
Thank you for the package today. I actually fit into one of my kids' shirts, and I loved it. So
we've got the new Reel String, Quadrille Twist, and Hexagon X. Thank you so much for that. Our two oldest boys play with those two strings exclusively, and they will use those no matter what. Thank you so much for believing in us. As always, at the end of every show, the lovely Carla always says,
adios.
Let's go! Comment below, how can we fix U.S. tennis? How do we do it? Let's go.